fucking clickbaited. Yes, I know. Whenever I started YouTube, a few years ago, I never would have thought I would have clickbaited, but here I am today. I became evil. But technically I didn't clickbait because I put quotation marks in the title. So I'm kind of referencing to people that are saying this. I'm quitting dropshipping because of these fucking US tariffs. And I'm happy I have you here now, because if you clicked on this video, that means you kind of debated it. Like, you kind of thought about, like, shit, what the fuck? Like, what do I do now? Like, you kind of got a bit worried, right? I'm here to give you my little 2 cents and what I've learned, through kind of going on, like, Twitter. Like, Twitter is such a low-key, underrated spot. Like, you have to be on Twitter if you're trying to get better on ecom. Like, all this YouTube is filled with garbage, but Twitter is better. Like, Twitter actually has people posting sauce. But going on Twitter, seeing like all these bigger guys, that run like $1 million brands, like what they're saying about this US tariffs, and it's like, yeah, for real, like, stop fucking stressing. First and foremost, I don't even know why people are stressing. I haven't even dealt with any problems. Like, I actually had a supplier, like one of my because like I got multiple just in case. But like, I got one of my suppliers that even reached out to me and said they even got cheaper prices, and they drop ship like from China. So I was like, all right, bro, like, what the fuck? But yeah, I personally haven't like had to deal with this thing, but just to like, because we're on the topic, right, and help you understand how you need to get rid of fear when these problems happen. These problems are a thing. This is not the first time some big news event that's out of your control. You can't control shit, right? You can't control shit. And then something happens and you start shitting your pants and you start getting scared. But realize it's not the first time. If you've been in the game for a while, that an event like this has happened in the past, and everything just, changes. First and foremost, with actual politics, shit like this happens. We just experienced it with TikTok. They banned TikTok for like a few hours, and then everyone's freaking the fuck out, and then they came back. Probably what's going to happen with these tariffs. Same thing, right? Like, Trump did it to like scare the fuck out of people, to like show he's big boss. Right now he's in fucking thing. Probably going to have like some conference call. They're going to end with a handshake, and everything's going to go back to normal. But let's say, for conversation's sake, this shit lasts long. Again, not the first time. iOS 18 update. Remember that, right? You just adapt to it. As an entrepreneur, you have to understand that shit is going to happen. Shit's going to happen that's going to affect your business without you in control. And as a business owner, you're just going to have to understand that. And it's basically the saying, what's that saying? Like, the fittest of the, I don't even fucking know. But basically, you have to adapt to survive. Obviously, that's the world. People that are shitting their pants are basically, the reason why they're shitting their pants was because they got too comfortable. And they expected nothing to change. Everything's going to be fine. Then things change and they start freaking the fuck out. All right? But you have to adapt to these things. You have to adapt to these problems. It's not just about dropshipping I want to talk about. It's just any business in general. You're going to deal with these situations where it's out of your control, but you just, as a entrepreneur, have to deal with problems and solve them. That's as simple as that. And you're probably asking, like, Julian, how are you doing to solve them? Oh my God. Well, there are countless of ways to go about this. If, again, this tariff thing is staying and somehow you're affected with your supplier, first thing would be is find a supplier that's not affected by this as much, if anything. If you can, then this just gives you every reason to increase your prices, increase your AOV, and just get better as a marketer to create the idea in your customer's mind that we're perceived at this price. This is a higher premium price, but we charge this because we're good. We have good quality. We solve your problem. So it just forces you to become a better marketer. Or worst thing comes to worst, you want to run away. There's people that have made billions of dollars selling to outside the U.S. Everyone was so fixated on selling to the U.S. You can sell to any other country, Australia, UK, like Netherlands, New Zealand, fucking Sweden. I don't even know. But Where there's a will, there's a way. And I wanted to also talk about this because I got in a bit of some back and forth on Twitter, right? With some guys that are bigger than me. I just like to put my 2 cents. Like, just because someone has done better than Ecom than me doesn't mean like I can't give my opinion. And at the end of the day, like, obviously they have more experience than me, but like, I still believe I'm a capable, smart person, so I can have my opinion, and I would probably think it's valid even with less experience and less results, right? So I had someone that talked about, and he went on a whole rant talking about this, right? Like how, the tidal waves have dropped, and it's exposing all the people who had inefficient, business models, inefficient business systems, and the people that were just purely drop shipping from China are getting fucked now. And yes, I agree. I 100% agree. But what I was debating about and going back was how he was kind of shitting on the drop shipping model, which I didn't like. And the reason being is because the dropshipping model is a perfect model in a sense that it's not a perfect business model for, at scale, but it's a perfect business model for any beginner, right? The whole point of dropshipping is to reduce a startup cost for anybody, for literally anybody in his basement can start up a business, test a business concept, while not having to have so much money up front and lose it all. Okay? That's the whole point of the fucking dropshipping business model. Now, is the dropshipping business model flawed? Fuck yes, it is flawed. And the reason why I'm not stressing the fuck out is because I always saw myself using dropshipping as a startup model to reduce costs because of like the resources that I have. And this is nothing new. This is like, multimillionaires like Alex Hormozi, Alex Becker have always talked about this concept of testing a product/service, right? Testing a concept before it's actually built. Like Alex Becker himself has said, there's times where I advertise a fucking product that doesn't even exist. I just test the concept. And if it works, if it's getting profitable sales, and if it's scaling, then they go build the back end. Then they go build the product. I see dropshipping like that, right? There are so many beautiful, well-built businesses that started through the dropshipping model. And that's the whole benefit of it. I see myself when building something consistent through the dropshipping model. And it's scaling. Obviously, as an entrepreneur, I'm going to adapt and fill in the gaps of my system because I know dropshipping is a flawed system. But there shouldn't be anybody shitting on the dropshipping method as a flawed system. Yes, we know. That's the whole point of it. Like, that's genuinely the whole point of dropshipping method. It's a flawed system, but it's cutting corners. Yes, you're cutting corners, and it's not good. And cutting corners is not good. But to start an idea, let's say you have an idea, you find a product, and you want to sell it, right? It's starting up this business idea without having so much cost up front and losing it. So people like me and you can test this idea and probably make hundreds of thousands of dollars without having to take all that risk up front. But it's up to you to be able to understand that and understand the business in a general. It's not just dropshipping. The business in general where, okay, now I have a proven concept. I've made a lot of money on this. It's not slowing down. It's pretty consistent. I have the capital now and I have the experience now because at the end of the day, that's another thing. You're using the dropshipping model to learn all the fundamentals of business as a whole. So now you have the capital, you have the experience. This is where you start building a stronger system. This is where maybe you start doing, custom products, custom packaging, 3PLs. Get your own warehouse. I don't fucking know. Get, actual molding of the product. And give it to a factory in the States and make them start making your product, whatever it may be. But that's later on down the line when you are more experienced, you have more capital. That's why I use the dropshipping method. But it's the people that are stressing the fuck out about these tariffs, right? I agree, it's exposing all the people, because the way I see it is the people that are shitting their pants is because they had no intention of building a stronger system in the future to begin with. And that's where I agree, it's exposing a lot of fucking retards are just in this for like a pure money grab, just trying to make as much money as possible, blah, blah, blah. They're not trying to actually learn, great business skills. They're not trying to build something pretty good. They're not trying to exit or whatever there may be. They don't give a fuck. They just are looking for the short-term instant gratification of sales right now. Then they don't give a fuck what happens after they get the sale. And that's it. That's all. So that's where I agree. It's exposed a lot of people from that point of view. But at the end of the day, with these tariffs, I haven't been affected by this. So if I haven't been, you shouldn't be. But if you are, as any entrepreneur, you have to figure out problems. You have to figure out solutions to the problems. They're just going to come. It's going to come. I think the tariffs are going to go away. If they don't, you adapt. Just like the iOS 18 update. You adapt, right? We're all dealing with Facebook bans after the iOS 18. It's harder to target people. That's why we do broad now. You just adapt. There's going to be people that figure out solutions to these new problems and just gonna adapt. And that's all you have to do. So take this as a learning lesson. If you ever had some fear in you where with this new update, you should try to figure out, like, fix that mentally, fix your intentions, fix like what the fuck you're gonna do, like, understand that if you're really in this game for the long run, you purely enjoy e-commerce and you love what you do and you see yourself doing this for years and years and years, right? You would not be stressed. You would not be feared. So I just wanted to like make this video because I don't know, some people probably were shitting bricks, and hopefully I kind of reassured you that everything's going to be okay and you were going to figure it out because you're a smart human being who decided to do his own path and go in the entrepreneur way. That's fine. You're going to solve the problems. That's it. That's all. And yeah, I also wanted to like talk about the dropshipping method where, don't shit on the dropshipping method. Dropshipping method is a amazing beginner system to start any business. It's like, you don't have to be shy about it. Like, again, these multi-millionaires like Harmozy and Alex Becker have stated the same concept. They're not drop shipping, but it's follows the same principles or idea where you're testing something through the front end, the marketing, the advertising, without having the full back end in check. But that's normal. You don't want to be wasting time and energy perfecting the back end when you don't know the front end is going to work. And the front end is what's going to get you all the traction, all the sales, all the demand. So it's nothing new. Like, again, when you just think about this shit logically, everything's fine. And fear is not in the way when you think rationally and logically. So again, that's another tip. Hopefully you learn something. And at the end of the day, that's an update on me. That's an update on the system. That's an update on you. And hopefully you learned something valuable out of this video. That's the end. That's the end goal. I always have this idea of recording a video and being like, does this help somebody? And hopefully it helped you. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is your non-guru, Julian, Tiscione, and Ecom. At you live. And thank you for watching and keep killing it. Don't worry. We're going to keep scaling, as always. And thank you for what I've said that multiple times. Thank you, and we'll see you at the fucking